inform you about that. I think one way we try to do that is by having our CBO folks and our alums go out and talk about what we do in the law school. But having conversations like this, I think, is a way of getting to talking about how we can make that connection, I think, more real, because we are working hard too. But if it doesn't pay off, or if you can't retain them because you haven't created an environment that's welcoming, then it's of no value. But I wanted to ask a question, actually. What about in the lateral context? We talked about whether the more than experience or was experience counted in a different way. What about in that context? Is there a different way of looking at a minority and other candidates, diverse candidates, especially?
Well, I can just speak to the last several months because we haven't been doing much lateral recruiting for a while. But I think it definitely is an important aspect of what we're trying to do. And frankly, I'm thrilled that we've made some really great hires in the first few months of the year. Again, people who are relocating, people who are making other kinds of changes, and that's been wonderful for us. And I think part of when I was talking before about the relationships that we have with search firms, part of the conversation that we have with them is this is really important to us. So if you have good candidates that are diverse candidates, we want to see them, even if we don't have a position that's available, because we may want to be opportunistic and take advantage of the fact that that person who's got a strong skill set is now available, is now in our market, and looking for a position. So it definitely is part of our process, and I would imagine it's part of most firms' processes.
Right, I agree. I mean, it's not just send us who you have, but help us find those people. We want diversity in the firm. So it is definitely, and again, are we refocused on it? We never lost focus. I mean, it's something that we are always looking at and trying to improve.
Peter?
I think the lateral market is different, and we're looking at it just part of our 5-year plan as we see that as a natural way to make improvements and hopefully address some of the disconnects that Irene's talking about, because we're working at the entry level and we're making progress there, but it's slow. But laterally we've done better and we've had more success, and we think that on the retention issue, if we're hiring the best and the brightest in the door, they're going to have opportunities. I think Irena said that earlier, and our diverse attorneys may have more opportunities. They may or may not, but many of them do, and we desperately want to keep them, and guess what? They're going to in-house to become general counsel or to some prime job in the government. So it's not always like we can't train them and keep diverse attorneys, but if the number's small to begin, a couple of people leaving hurts. So we look at laterals to replace.
I would just make one comment because I wasn't here for the earlier conversation about laterals, but I do believe that it ties into the diversity discussion because since the class of 2009 to 2010 were so adversely impacted in terms of just overall hiring, and the GPAs ratcheted up and the summer class sizes were small, so there's a whole group of people who don't have